Hello, Union County and Midland. It's good to be with you again. I apologize missing last week. Our week was cut a little bit short, so I didn't get a chance to do a video for you before we left. But lots going on in the last 2 weeks. I just wanted to give you a little update of where we are. The elephant in the room that some of you have probably been following or listening to is the Compassionate Care Act. That's been a multi-term. I think Senator Rabin's been working on that bill for, I'd say, at least 3 years, 4 years, probably since I got here. It was discussed through multiple committees and has had many editions and versions of it. It did pass the Senate on a bipartisan basis this week. One thing about this bill compared to many of the other states that have passed similar legislation is it's a lot more restrictive and a lot more belts and suspenders than many of the other states, which is why it did have the support of numerous law enforcement agencies, medical groups, healthcare groups, a number of different things. Still a tough piece of legislation, a lot of emotions, a lot of people have very strong feelings either way, but in the end it did pass the Senate. I think the vote was 36-10. So it'll head over to the House. Who knows what'll come back, but if you're following that bill, just wanted to give you that update. In addition, today, by the way, is March 2nd, Thursday. We've completed the legislative week, and also you've heard me talk in past videos about the sub-appropriations presentations meeting that have gone on for the last 4 weeks, every morning at 9 a.m. This morning, I did chair the sub-appropriation committee meeting for AGNR, which is Agricultural, Natural, and Economic Resources. We had our last presentation this morning, so sort of glad that's over with, just because it's a lot of meat and detail and heavy stuff, but it's really imperative that we do that, so that way we can talk about the services that are provided within this space of state government. Now, what we will do at this point from that committee is begin to develop our sub-appropriation budget to send to the big chairs. So the House, they are running the budget first this year. So the way the line of scheduling will go is the governor will release his budget. We should be hearing from that next week, because Monday night is the State of the State, very similar to the State of the Union. For the federal government, this is the North Carolina State of the State, when the governor will address both chambers of the General Assembly Monday night, I think at 6:30 or 7 o'clock. So you can tune into that if any of the local stations are carrying that. So he'll present his budget, then the House will complete their budget process, and then we will go last. So the Senate will then come back and go through our budget process. Once all the dust is settled from that, the two chambers will get together, hash out what's going to end up in the final budget, and you'll hear that referred to as the conference report. So don't be confused about that. Conference report means the final budget that both chambers have agreed to. So I fully expect probably July before we get to that point. The budget process is a long process when you're dealing with this type of money, with the vast expanse of items and issues. You know, in my opinion, I'd like to cut that expense down and cut that spending down some. I think we spend more money than we should, because I, for one, like to have money in your pockets instead of the state government's pockets. But in the end, it's part of the process that we go through, and we'll continue to make sure we continue the culture of thrift, making sure that we're only spending what we have to spend, either through entitlement or through necessary needs of servicing the citizens of North Carolina, making sure our priorities are where they should be. So all in all, it's been a busy 2 weeks. Those are some of the high levels. And I would encourage you, if you watch this video and you have questions concerning other bills or other legislation that's moving, feel free to shoot us an email, or, as I always say, give us a phone call, or send us an email. We're doing pretty well right now, trying to stay on top of emails. Form letter emails that come from services, not going to name necessarily, but different interest groups say, write your legislators and hit this button and put your name. Being brutally honest with you, those do not get read. I even filed a bill that last year that would just kind of put some curtailing of those types of things, because it really clogs up our email system to where we can't see when you take the time to send us an email. We want to focus on that. We want to communicate directly with you, not through some third-party system. So todd.johnson@ncleg.gov. That's todd.johnson@ncleg.gov. union.gov is our email. Phone number is 919-733-7569. I think that's right. But if it's not right, I'll try to correct it on the email, but get that number confused sometime. But all in all, great 2 weeks. Sorry to missed you last week. We'll try to get back on the roll for next week, and a lot of policy movement's going to happen next week, especially with the state of the state. Pay attention to what's going on, because it will there'll be a lot of happenings going on. So I'll do the best I can to keep you updated as well. Thank you so much for the opportunity to serve you. It is truly a privilege and an honor that I do not take lightly, and I'll continue to try to make you proud. So look forward to hearing from you. And again, if you're in Raleigh, we'd love to see you here at the LOB, office number 310. Thank you.